Hey babe, welcome back to the A-Team. Okay guys, first and foremost, as you guys know, my channel was literally basically created yesterday. And I just want to first and foremost acknowledge the love that I feel from all of you guys, every single message, every single DM. I want you guys to know that I genuinely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And it means so much to me. You guys have no idea that you guys could take time out of your day to encourage me to keep going with my channel and to make suggestions for me to cover in other videos. This has been my dream, and I've always wanted to, help people and be able to encourage people and help them learn from my mistakes or even prevent them, period. So to see all the love that you ladies are sharing, and I'm really speechless, and I had to get that out, and I had to let you guys know how much it means to me. It means more than you can ever imagine, and I'm very excited to grow the A-Team, and I really feel like, by the end of the week, we will definitely hit 500 subscribers, which is really exciting. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. It means more than you could ever know. And now, moving forward for this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I have learned in 2018. So if you guys want to know what that is, then please keep watching. So I actually curated a list because I like to stay on point as much as possible when it comes to doing videos about the things that I learned. So these are going to be the 5 things that I learned in 2018, or the 5 things that 2018 has taught me. And I separated them into categories, which were friendships and relationships, health, career, and also spirituality. So first and foremost, the topic that I wrote down was friendships and relationships. And I feel that in 2018, that what it revealed was people's hearts and their intentions. It was just a huge lesson, in terms of what you should and shouldn't be tolerating, whether that was in a friendship or a relationship. And more importantly, like I even mentioned in my last video, that it's very important that you believe people when they show you how they are. And a lot of the times, especially as women, we ignore our intuition, and that seems to be the norm, where we convince ourselves, no, that person couldn't have meant that. No, that doesn't mean that. And I learned, especially this year more than ever, that I will never ignore my intuition ever again, because that's a gift from God, and we were given that for a reason. And if you have an inclination about something that's going to be wrong, or you have to question whether or not that guy you're with is really actually, exclusively with you, or that guy is giving you mixed signals, well, the answer is no. And that comes from me personally, because I had to learn that myself, this year. I know, eventually I will do a whole story on, my personal story about the things that I've experienced in my life. But I do know that that's a major thing also, that I learned that particularly in relationships, I learned that I'm not going to be forcing myself to prove myself to people in terms of proving to them I'm a good person or I'm worthy of being their friend, whatever the case is. People are either going to like you or they're not. They're going to get it or they're not. There was a quote that I liked that this political Republican, she's a Black female. Her name is Candace Owens, and she's very young. And in her bio, it says, I can explain it to you. I cannot understand it for you. And I absolutely love that quote, because that goes for so many different things in life, where it's so true. We, explain things because we feel like we have to. And I'm very guilty of this too. But some people are just not going to get it. You can explain all you want. That doesn't mean they're going to get it. So I'm not going to, force myself, in situations where just the answer is no, and deep down, that feeling when things flow, right? That that, oh, this is effortless. This is flowing. Like there isn't much that I even have to do. And when things don't flow, then you start questioning, when you leave that person or, that when you leave that person's house or when you, go home after hanging out with, that friend, you start to take inventory of, okay, well, why did this person say this? What do they mean by, that thing that they said? Do they even really like me? Like, are they really, interested in me? Is this person using me? Does this person really want to be my friend? Did this person really say this about me? Like, what was that funny feeling that I felt? All of these things. I just want to cut to the chase and let you guys know that if you have any of those feelings and inclinations about anything, just end it, especially when it comes to relationships. Just end it, That's the best thing you could do for yourself. Toxicity is not needed. Questioning people's intentions, you don't need that, especially moving forward in 2019. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is spirituality. So this is very huge. I am a Christian, and for me, this is life. I believe that it's very important to have some, spiritual foundation. And I don't know, for whomever that may be, whatever you believe in, I believe in, God, Jesus, and everything. And for me, this year has taught me that God will really test you, in certain situations, and you're not going to always understand where you're going. And you may feel so lost and confused. And even for myself, not even to get too much into that, but when I was just going through, a dark time, in my life, which was honestly this year, I was just feeling so lost, and I didn't even feel like I had, the strength to, want to pray or anything. I didn't have any desire to do any of that. And it was really, horrible. And I just feel like now that I'm out of that place in my life, I realize, wow, I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed, because really the only way that I've gotten through everything that I went through was literally just because God brought me through everything. And it really just taught me in retrospect, now that it's my testimony, that it's so important to, trust him as best as you can. I know it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done. And I know that this probably even sounds cliche, but I really want to stress that importance to you, that, having a spiritual foundation is very important, and having faith is very important, and this even ties back into, friends, surrounding yourself around friends that are going to uplift you and encourage you, and not be a yes person. You don't need yes people in your life. You need to know when you're wrong. You need to know when, you're not being level-headed. You need these people around you to help ground you, and if you don't have that, then you should really start to reconsider your friends, because you can't, a lot of the times in our 20s, some people think, oh, I'm young. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of time left. And every decision, that you make, every action has a reaction, right? So every decision that you make, it will affect you. It will. And that leads me into, my next point in terms of health, right? If you eat poorly all of your 20s, honey, you will pay the repercussions of that, into your 30s. It's going to happen. That's why it's so important to exercise, meditate, if you can, try yoga, do a bunch of different things that are going to be healthy, and help add value to yourself and your life, and then this goes right back into relationships. When you feel like you're a person that is of value, you're taking care of yourself, you are working out, drinking your water, you're eating healthy, these things make you feel good. So when you feel good, you tend to do positive things because you're feeling good. You're not self-sabotaging yourself and, participating in toxic behavior that is not beneficial to your growth. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's so important to really step outside of ourselves. It's very important, and say, you know what? This isn't the right thing for me. Or at least have someone around you that's saying, listen, Asha, whatever your name is, this isn't right what you're doing. You really need to, reel it on in and focus, And a lot of the times people, sometimes our friends' opinions, matter in a way where they are, helping us. And, you have to be open and receptive to understanding when it's constructive criticism versus when it's coming from, a different place and maybe even a negative place. But I especially found for me, like I mentioned before, that in, this year, I was really proving that I was a good person and that I was, worthy, I guess, of being around or being in a relationship with. And I found that every time that I participated in, behavior like this, it didn't make that person draw closer to me. It made them continue on doing whatever they wanted to do, and that's when I realized that, no, what are you doing? You don't need to do that, because I have other friends that I don't have to do that with, and things should just always flow. I also really want to stress in terms of health that mental health is very important. If you don't have your mind, you don't have anything. And if you are like me, you believe that everything is connected, mind, body, spirit, it's all connected. It all creates a equilibrium, a homeostasis environment where when all of these things are balanced, you're living a balanced life. So if you know that mentally you are taking care of yourself, you're reading, you're educating yourself. I personally love to read. I like to read books on self-development, holistic nutrition. These are things that interest me. And you can read books on, of course, whatever interests you. I just think it's very important because especially, let's just be transparent, especially for some reason within certain, ethnic communities, like myself being Black, sometimes we tend to downplay, mental, illness or, mental instability, and we don't really acknowledge it as much. But there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist and just talking to someone, because not everyone has a support system. Not everyone has people that they feel would understand. And then also, not everyone wants everyone to know their business. They don't want people that they know to know exactly what's going on in their mind. No one wants to be, labeled as, crazy or whatever the case is. But I just want you to know, that you're not crazy because you feel like you want to talk to a therapist. In fact, you're healthy because you realize, you know what? Hey, I want to start shifting the way that I'm thinking. I want to be a better person. So I'm going to be proactive in that. And I'm going to make sure that I talk to somebody about that. And I want you guys to know that that is completely okay and that there's nothing wrong with that. So if that's something that you genuinely feel like you should do, then you should go get that and seek that help out. And you're not crazy for that. And don't worry about people judging you and trying to, say, oh, you're crazy because you do this. We tend to throw around, mental illness around like it's confetti, right? When in all actuality, it's not. And again, I'm not saying that it means even that you're mentally ill. What I'm saying is that aside from people that actually are clinically mentally ill, it's important that we people that aren't, that still go through everyday issues. Sometimes life gets a little bit harder sometimes, and a little bit more stressful at times. And it's so important that aside from praying, that we have someone to talk to so that we're not internalizing everything that's going on in our head, and then blowing up on the next thing because we feel like we can't handle it anymore. And to me, that just goes to show that faith without works is dead. Yes, you have the faith that you're going to get through whatever you're getting through. But then the works part is, okay, I'm also talking to, a therapist on the side to help me, think more logically, to help me, balance these thoughts, to help give me another perspective on how I'm thinking, to help me create healthy practices on, how to look at life. It's just best to always broaden your horizon. And I was actually looking at a thread from these women saying, well, like, if you're 35, what would you tell your younger self? And a lot of the women were saying, invest in yourself, have good credit, and also, date, right? A lot of the times, and I'm very guilty of this, I tend to fall into this thing where it's like, I like you, I think you like me, let's just be together. But I also came to the realization, you will spend majority of your life with someone more than you will without someone. So yes, in the beginning, I thought, in my 20s, I want to get married, I want to do all this stuff. And hey, who knows if that even, still will happen. It may not. But the point is that's not my focus right now, where it's like, I want to get married. And I don't want to send that, message across. You can still show that you're marriage material without kind of, having a red, alert sign on your head, like, marry me, marry me, marry me. You know what I mean? And I just think it's very important to date, and see what it is that you like. Because you will only get to do it but so many times, babe. I'm telling you. And I came to that realization and I was like, what am I doing? Like, look at how men are too, right? Men don't just start dating one girl and, that's it. And they, sail off into the sunset. Has it happened? Maybe. Does it happen often? No. And you know that. You know what I mean? So it's just important to discover what it is that we like so that by the time we settle down, and I feel like this is so important, especially in this generation. Be honest and be upfront about what it is that your intentions are. Why? Because you're opening up the floor to give people an option of whether or not to accept what it is that you're doing. If you're, dating a guy and he said, and you want to know, where his head is at and what his intentions are. You have the right to know that. And the guy, he should either tell you, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship at all at the moment. And I am looking for more just, friends and fun, something lighthearted. Now you have the option of saying, okay, am I willing to stay with this person because he wants something that's just, not serious, lighthearted, or that's not really my thing. I just want to date, someone that I can see, something more long-term with. And I will do a video also about when is the right time to bring that conversation up, because I also learned from my own experience. It is not, early on in the dating stage. It is not early on in the dating stage that you bring up a conversation like this. You kind of just want to, gauge, more of the person's personality before you, ask a question like that. Yeah. So it's just very important that we're just upfront and honest with each other. Take that into 2019. Be upfront and honest about your intentions. And same goes for ladies. You know what I mean? It's very important that we are honest with our intentions. Don't try to, play whatever game he's playing, If you feel like you really like this person, you've been with this person for, let's say, 3 months now, and you've been dating, you haven't been doing more than dating, okay, and you feel like, okay, emotionally, I really feel like I could see myself with a connection with this person, then you have that conversation of, actually, it takes, about 3 months to get to know somebody, whether you guys know that or not. Statistically, it says it takes 3 months to get to know somebody fully. So I know that seems like such a long time, like, oh my God, it's 3 months. I have to wait to figure out what his intentions are. Yes. You know why? Because there's a science, like I said, to men. And if you're not, giving certain things up, then they will either stick around by that time or they will leave you well before then. So that's why it's important to, hold off as long as you can, the minimum 2 to 3 months. And that's when you start to have the conversation of, hey, I know that I want something that's committed, right? So can you offer this to me or not? If they can't offer that to you, then nothing will be happening. If they can offer that to you, then you move forward and you guys will be more on the same page. Just had to get that out there. Okay, and next I want to talk about career. So this is point number 4. It's very important that you follow your heart. This whole year, I felt like I've always known what I wanted to do, but then I lost track of that. And I got so sidetracked and I got really discouraged because I felt like what I wanted to do, I probably wasn't good enough, or no one's really paying attention, or whatever the case was. I was just really in a dark place. And I started thinking, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And I remember one of my friends called me and, they were suggesting that I get a job, like more, I guess serious, job. And I did graduate from college with my bachelor's in media communications. And, in this field, it's such a creative field. It's very broad. There's a lot that you can do with it. And I know that for myself, I'm just not a 9 to 5 sort of person. But that's just me. That's for me, and there are people that thrive and do well and are passionate, about that. I'm not passionate about that. So that's not something I would do. And I found that in this space, in 2018, I just kept entertaining ideas because I was so lost, that my friends would suggest to me and all of these things. And it was a disaster because I wouldn't really want to do them. And I just started feeling more and more, far away from me and who I was. And I know that everyone was coming from a good place and they wanted me to, do well. And that's why they were suggesting these things. But I found myself thinking, oh, should I go to law school? Like, should I go to, school for psychology? What should I do? But I remember one of my friends, he's like my mentor. He asked me and he said, if you weren't being paid, to be a psychologist or, to be a lawyer, would you still love it? Is that the reason you're waking up every morning? Would that genuinely make you happy? And the answer is just no. Are you doing this because it sounds good to you? And I think a lot of the times, even when we're lost, I have really awesome, great friends. And I was talking to one of my friends, Danny, actually. She's an amazing vegan chef. She's awesome. She was telling me, she sent me a voice note that she actually recorded about, passion and purpose. If you genuinely are somebody that believes in your passion and your purpose and you have faith, that God will really make a way for you. I'm literally living it right now. And I know it sounds like how, where. I just want answers. I just want something soluble. Like, please, like, don't give me a generic answer. But I'm telling you, that's why it's so important to have solid friendships. People that will speak life over you when you need it. Because we're not always up. We're not. There's going to be times where you're going to be discouraged, and you don't need your friend to go coerce you to be, drinking your problems away, because at the end of the day, as soon as that hangover is done, you're still going to be right back where you started. You need to be proactive in your life. You need people to tell you to be proactive in your life. You need people that can show you how to do that. That's why it's also important to be friends with people that also have more than you. I love being around people that have more than me, whether that's money, subscribers, follow, whatever it is. I love that because it inspires me. It inspires me. It's like, wow, I'm seeing this person living their dream. I'm seeing how they're doing it. How did you do that? I don't get mad at that. I get excited. I get inspired. Like, wow, put that energy on me. You know what I mean? And when you genuinely support people like that, blessings also will come your way. When you're a true, genuine, pure-hearted person, these great things will come your way. And I promise you that. More than anything, it's so important to also have a good heart. Where is your heart's posture? How is your faith today? And if you are someone watching this video and you're not in the best place, I want you to know that I get it. I really get it, and I've been there, and it's not easy. And it's, for me, it lasted a very long time, and I want you to know that I understand. How you're seeing me now is after, the dust has settled. You're seeing me now where my story, the things that I was going through, is now my testimony. So I don't want you to look at me and, just assume, oh, you have it all together. Oh, you know everything. Babe, I only know this stuff from my experience. I only know what I know because I went through it, because I tried to understand why I went through it. And you only gain wisdom through knowledge, and experience. That's why I have this channel, and I want to be able to help you in what you're going through. And I also want to be able to prevent you guys from some of the mistakes that I made. That's very important to me and very near and dear to my heart. And another point I want to add about, passion and purpose is when you genuinely believe that that's for you, stay on that track. Don't be swayed by people's opinions, what they're going to think of you, because babe, people are going to judge you no matter what you're doing. You might as well do something that's going to make you happy. Because if somebody were to be like, oh, look at her, she's working at that law firm, she knows she's miserable, she doesn't even, make that much money. I don't know. I'm just talking. You're probably going to go home and be like, sad, because it's like, she's right. I do work here and I am doing it because it sounds good when I talk to people. Oh, so what do you do? Oh, I work at a law firm. It's like, it sounds really great, but are you happy? It matters. Okay. Your happiness matters. And like I said, when you're someone that you believe in faith and you stand firm on your faith and you understand, God, you did not give me these talents, these desires, this voice for no reason. You didn't give that to me for no reason. I'm going to step into my calling. I'm going to believe you're going to provide a way for me. And these are all things that I was struggling with myself and believing. And I had my friends, speak life over me and tell me, Asha, no, this is what you wanted to do your entire life. People that I thought, I was hanging out with, that I, am no longer dealing with, they were leading me in the wrong direction, offering me this advice, that advice, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Not everything everybody is suggesting is for you, and you know that. You know that there's a feeling you get, when it feels right, and when it doesn't. And I really want you to start paying attention to that, and I want you to start leaning into that and believing in it and saying, you know what? My gut's telling me no. The answer is no. I prayed about it. God said no. The answer is no. Do you understand what I'm saying? I really have to help you guys. I hope I don't sound like I'm literally preaching. And lastly, point number 5, what 2018 has taught me. Point number 5 is life can change so fast. And I want you to know that. Again, like I mentioned to you before, I'm a testimony, right now I'm a walking testimony, and I will post that story, one day, like I said, but how you see me now is not who I was, all year. I've grown into this position. I'm embracing this woman that I am becoming. I'm embracing Asha. I'm young. For those of you that don't know, I'm only 24 years old. I don't know everything. I don't know it all. I don't think I know it all. I'm a student of life. I'm always evolving. I want to always be a learner. I pride myself in always wanting to learn and wanting to just know more about life. And I don't ever want to be the type of person that I think I know everything. It's so important that we have that humbleness about ourselves. I also want you guys to know that if you have faith and you believe that anything is possible, I'm telling you, anything is possible. Anything is possible for you. I would watch people that, how YouTube changed their lives, for instance, and someone that sticks out to me the most, like Amber Scholl, her story about how YouTube has changed her life. She had a passion and she believed in herself. And when you're creative and you do things like this, people are always going to laugh. They're going to laugh, and it tends to be the people that know you the best, that discourage you the most sometimes because they're afraid. They're afraid by their own limitations, their own mind, being one-track minded the way it is. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like a real career. Oh, make sure you do this on the side. Make sure you're not, wasting your life away. But really, at least in my 20s, I could say, if anything, I gave this my all. Is it gonna work? I don't know, but I believe it's gonna work. I'm putting that out. I'm speaking that over my life, that I know that this is going to work for me, And it's important for us to just find our own niche. I just really want to leave you guys with that last ending note that life can change at any moment for the better, and it can change really fast. Change your friends. Go work out. Start reading. Listen to meditation. For free on YouTube. I'm not even asking you to, these things are not really costing money. Free resources for exercise, Blogilates on YouTube. Meditation is also free on YouTube. Books, there are audiobooks on YouTube that are free as well. There's just so many different sources, resources out there that I feel like it's so important to mention to you guys so that you guys know you don't have to stay in this sort of headspace where you're just overwhelmed by life itself. And I know that it's hard to hear from someone that's in a different place, or you feel like is in a better place, that, life gets better. But I'm telling you, it does. Life gets better. It will get better for you. Things are going to change for you. Things are going to shift for you. I just need you to believe that. I need you to believe that with me. You and I can literally take over 2019 together. I believe in you. God believes in you. Okay? There are good people out there. I don't want you to be jaded by life's experiences. I don't want, you to, look at life in a negative light, because I'm telling you, it gets better. Okay? So guys, that is the end of this video. These are the 5 things that 2018 has taught me. I really, again, just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all these suggestions, for subscribing to me. I do see that you guys have a lot of things suggested for me. So I have a lot of videos to film, which makes me so excited. I'm not exactly sure what video per se I'm going to be filming next. Let's see. If you guys suggest some more stuff, or you guys go to my previous video and see other things that people have suggested, if that particular comment gets, let's say, like 50 likes or more, then I will, choose that topic before, let's say, another one. So once again, guys, I want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a part of the A team. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I love you. I appreciate you, and God loves you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and have